Hello, welcome back everyone. So let's continue our discussion all about partial fraction decomposition. So we discussed in our first part the second case of partial fraction, and that is when the denominator of the fraction contains linear factor ax plus by that occurs multiple times, no? Let's say p number of times. So the corresponding to that factor must associate p number of partial fractions. So from a sub 1 over ax plus b, and then plus a sub 2 over ax plus b squared up through a sub p over ax plus b raised to p. And this a sub p must not be equal to 0. Well, a sub 1, a sub 2 may be 0, and so on, but that last term, which has a denominator with a power of p, must not be 0. No, that a sub p must not be 0. These are the examples. Okay. Now, let's have a problem. Now, let's solve this one. So for a, b, and c, in the given partial fraction decomposition, 4x squared plus 3x minus 9 all over x times 2x plus 3 quantity squared, and that is equal to a over x plus b over 2x plus 3 plus c over 2x plus 3 quantity squared. Again, sometimes it will be given in the board exam. No, like written na siya, yung partial fraction. And sometimes naman, it's not yet given. Like eto lang yung ibibigay. And we are the ones that will expand that or write that into its decomposition. Okay? So we just have to solve for a, b, and c na lang dito. Okay, let's solve that. So, i-write ko muna siya dito. 4x squared plus 3x minus 9 all over x times x, or 2x plus 3, quantity squared. And that is equal to a over x plus b over 2x plus 3 plus c over 2x plus 3 squared. Okay. Now, ano yung gagawin natin dito? Well, eto. First, multiply both sides by this. Okay? So, that is the solution. Okay, multiply both sides by this expression, x times 2x plus 3 quantity squared. So, if we're to do that, okay, multiply this by yung x times 2x plus 3 quantity squared, and that is equal to this. We are to multiply this by this. Okay. Yan. No, by x times 2x plus 3. Now, what will happen? So, of course, makancel yung denominator. So, that leaves us this numerator na lang. So, that's 4x squared plus 3x minus 9 at the left side. Now, how about at the right side? So, at the right side, makacancel yung x. No? So, that will be leave us a times 2x plus 3 squared. Okay ba? Na na-cancel yung x. Now, plus b times, ano yung makancel dito? There is 2x plus 3. So, makancel yung isang 2x plus 3. No? That means meron pa siyang isang another 2x plus 3. So, this is bx times 2x plus 3. Okay? And for this c, yung makancel is this 2x plus 3 squared talaga. No? At yung matira is x na lang. So, that is cx. Okay? So, ganun yan. Now, after that, for us to solve for A, B, and C, i-analyze natin. Now, what could make these two terms 0 or neglected? That is by making x 0. No? Upon making x equal to 0, makancel to. No? Ma-neglect na sila. And A will stay to be the only variable. No? So, letting x equal to 0. So that will become 4 times 0 squared plus 3 times 0 minus 9, and that is equal to a times 2 times 0 plus 3 squared plus b times 0 uh, times 2 times 0 plus 3 plus c times 0. Okay. So again, makancel yung terms na ito. No? So yung matira is a na lang. A over what? Of course, ito din makancel. That leaves negative 9 at the left side. And dito, that will become over 2 times 0 plus 3 quantity squared. Well, that's 9. No? The denominator is 9. So a is equal to negative 1. And again, if we are to use the calculator, no, like doing ship solve, after we have written that into this, we may just evaluate that 4x squared plus 3x minus 9, and that is equal to a times 2x plus 3 squared plus bx times 2x plus 3 plus cx. Okay, so if we are to solve for a, lagyan natin ng a dyan, di ba? Comma a, then shift calc. So what should be the value of x in order for us to get a? So that is 0, no? Kasi makancel yung b and c. So making x equal to 0, and ignore yung values ng b and c. These were what we got kanina, no? Ignore sila. So we got a equal to negative 1. Okay? Now after that, what shall we do? Kanina, after we got a, no, using this canon calculator, we then solve for b, no, by changing this to b. If we'll do that dito, okay, and try to make b equal to the root of its denominator, diba? I mean, trying to make x equal to the root of the denominator. So what makes this to be 0? That is x equal to negative 3 halves, right? Now, if I'm going to make x equal to negative 3 halves, expect this to be error. Processing or can't solve. Well, why is that? Kasi, ganito yan. If we are to make x equal to negative 2/3, negative 3 halves, yung makakancel dito are a and b. No? It leaves c as the variable or the remaining unknown. No? So, ibig sabihin yan, that's the reason why this is can't solve. Kasi dapat c yung ano mo dito, i-solve mo dito. If you are to make x equal to negative 3 halves. Okay? So, tingnan nyo. See, it gives c equal to 3. Well, let's find that out. No, upon making x equal to again equal to negative 3 halves. So, tingnan mo lang yung root ng denominator. Or tingnan mo ito, what would make this a and b both 0, and that is x equal to negative 3 halves. So, I'm gonna use this. I-substitute natin. So, b equal to negative 3, x equal to negative 3 halves. Ito, this is negative 3 halves. This is negative 3 halves. X is negative 3 halves. X is negative 3 halves. Dito, dito. So, again, maging 0 ito, no? So, it leaves c as the remaining variable. So, that is equal to this. I'm gonna copy this na lang. You may just evaluate that using your calculator. Then, over this, negative 3 halves. Okay? And solving for c, that is equal to 3. And that's what we got, right? Using the calculator. Okay. Now, to solve for c naman, b, let x be equal to what? What do you think should be the value of x? Negative 3 halves again? No. Again, making x equal to negative 3 halves, maging cancel ito, no? Then what should be the value of x? 0. How about 0? No, hindi. Kasi magiging 0 din ito. Well, ito yung gagawin. Since we already got the values of a and c equal to negative 1 and 3 respectively, then we may just assume any value of x. No? Let x be any value, kahit 1 ba yan, or 5 ba yan, or 10 ba yan, except for 0 and negative 3 halves. Kahit 2,000 pa yan, kahit 3,000 pa yan, no? Kahit na ano. But for me, the best is 1, no? The simplest is 1. Upon making x equal to 1, substitute natin dito along with the calculated values of a and c, now for us to solve b. So making x equal to 1, this should be 1. Okay, ito 1. Ito 1. Ito 1. Ito 1. Ito 1. And again, we already got a equal to negative 1 and c equal to 3. No? Then to solve for b, that is equal to what? Ito. This. No? I-subtract natin ito. Subtract natin to, no? Kasi these are at the naman left side, right side. So minus this, okay? Then so as this, subtract din natin ito, na this constant, okay? And over this, okay, I think kita nyo ano yung ibig ko sabihin, di ba? Transfer this to the other side and solve for b by dividing both sides by this. So divide by this. Okay, and solving for b, you may evaluate that using your calculator, but dito that is equal to 4. So b is 4. Or again, if we are to use this, since we already got the values of a and c respectively, no, pwede natin i-change ito, making this b, then shift calc, then assume any value except for 0 and negative 3. So you've got to change this. Pwede 1, pwede 3,000 as what I said, no, kahit na ano. As long as a and c are there, negative 1 and 3. So it gives b equal to 4. See? So nakuha na natin. Ibig sabihin nito, if we are to rewrite this into its decomposition, again, a is negative 1, so this is minus 1. B is 4, and C is equal to 3. Ganun yan. Ibig sabihin nito, if I'm gonna expand this, expand, let me try. Okay. Let's zoom ako ng variable kanina. Okay. So, see, the numerator becomes 4x squared plus 3x minus 9. That's the given, no? Na original fraction. If we are to rewrite this into its decomposition, this is the sum of this and this and this. So ganun yan. That is the second case. Right ba? Well, another example tayo. And for the next example, try to take a pause. Okay, solve the partial fraction decomposition of this. Take a pause and evaluate. Sige. Okay na. So, I'm gonna proceed na. Now, ang solution nito is that we're going to solve the roots first, no, or to write the factored form of the denominator. Okay, so 2x squared plus 24x plus 1 all over 2x cubed minus x squared minus 8x minus 5. Okay, so the solution, what is the solution nito? Again, yung gagawin natin is that we're going to write this into its factored form, and to do so, we've got to solve for the roots. no? And that is using the calculator. Okay, so mode 5, then down, cubic. Mode 5.3 ito sa, 570 ES plus or 991 ES plus. So, input natin yung mga coefficients. A is equal to 2, B is equal to -1, C is equal to -8, and D is equal to -5. Okay, so what are the roots? X sub 1 is equal to 5 halves. How about X sub 2 and X sub 3? X sub 2 is equal to -1, and X sub 3 is equal to wala. What does that mean? Does it mean that X sub 3 is 0? Nope. That is not equal to 0, nor imaginary. No, it can't be imaginary. Well, the reason why there are two roots is because one of these roots must be repeating. Now, either this 5 halves repeats twice or this -1 repeats twice. Okay? So, parang ganito yan. Either, di ba, if we are to write this into its factored form, the factored form of this is 2x minus 5. No? And the other one is x plus 1. Okay ba? Kasi that's equal to -1. So, it's either eto yung squared or yung isa yung squared. No? Not this. But this one. But of course, if we are to compare the two, this can't be squared. Why? Kasi if we are to evaluate that, expanding that, 2x times 2x already gives us 4x squared. Then times x, 4x cubed. But this is not 4x cubed, but 2. And also, the last term, the constant term dito is -5. No, but dito, -5 squared, or -5 times -5 is 25 already. No, so it can't be the answer. If we were to expand that, that is its expansion. No, so by inspection, we can say that ito dapat yung squared. No? In order for the first term to be 2x cubed, 2x times x times x. And also the constant, -5 times 1 times 1 is -5. Okay? Expanding this. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yan, this fraction, copy that dito, is equal to this. This denominator becomes ito, 2x minus 5 times x plus 1 squared. So as you see, this binomial, linear binomial factor repeats twice. No? If ganyan, we've got to write that like this. That is equal to a over 2x minus 5. Again, by doing the decomposition, you may start with x plus 1, no? Like making its numerator as the a, no? Depende lang. No? B over x plus 1, then c over x plus 1 squared, or pwede ito ma-interchange. As long as yung makuha nating values ng a and b and c must correspond to their respective denominators. Okay? Now, how to solve for a, b, and c? So the same as what we did kanina, we are to multiply both sides by this, no? So multiplying both sides by that, that will leave the the numerator dito. Okay? Or just do cross multiplication, like transfer this. Transfer this to the other side. Multiply that to the other side. So upon doing so, this will leave us, di ba, makancel yung 2x minus 5 dito. So that is times x plus 1 squared, okay, plus p times what? Makancel yung isang x plus 1. So that is 2x minus 5, okay, meron pang 2x minus 5, then times 1x plus 1, isang x plus 1, no? And for c, makancel yung x plus 1 squared, no? Material is 2x minus 5. Okay. Now, after that, remember that we may just evaluate that right away using the calculator. No? Encoding that dito, input natin 2x squared plus 24x plus 1 is equal to a times x plus 1 squared plus b times 2x minus 5 times x plus 1 plus c times 2x minus 5. Na yung uunahin natin is a. Now, and to solve for a, what should we do again? To solve for a, let x be equal to, ano nga yan? Dapat, ito, 5, no. 5, yeah, 5 halves. No, the root niyan is 5 halves. So, we've got to make x equal to 5 halves para makancel ito, no? So, for waiting that, shift calc, making this 5 over 2. And ignoring the values of B and C. Ignore, then A is equal to 6. That is the value of A. Okay, by making x equal to 5 halves. And after that, to solve for C naman, again, no, we must not solve for B muna. We've got to solve for C first, no? To solve for C, let x be equal to what? Eto, negative 1. So that this will become 0 and so as this. No, makancel yung A and B. So, make this C. Okay? Then shift calc, make x equal to negative 1. And A is 6. B is ignore. C is equal to 3. Okay? So, C is equal to 3. And to let x, to solve for B, let x be what again? What did we do kanina? We let that equal to any of the variables, no? Any number except for this 5 halves and negative 1. Now you must not make x equal to this again, no? Iba naman, like 0 or 1 or 2, no? Basta hindi ganito, no? Kahit na ano. Let's say, i-change natin to B. Let's say I'm gonna make that x equal to 143. Ayan. Char. If x is 143, ano yung value ng B? Again, you must do this lang if nakuha mo na yung A and C, no? But if you haven't solved them yet, then you've got to solve them first, no? For you to be able to solve B. So A is 6, okay? And C is 3, that's what we got. And B is equal to negative 2. So ganun yan. Ayos ba? That means the partial fraction decomposition of this is 6 over 2x minus 5. That's A. B is negative 2. Or you may make this minus 2. Positive na ito, no? If minus na yan. Over x plus 1 plus 3 over x plus 1 squared. Ayos ba? Let's try. No? I'm gonna try the MathCAD's partial fraction function. 6 minus 2. See? So it's correct. No? Or if you are to expand this, it should go back to this. Okay? 2x squared plus 24 plus 1. So ganun yan. Now, there are times of which medyo mahaba or medyo marami yung variables, no? Pwede that you are to do this solution. No? Instead of doing this, ito yung gagawin mo. Diba? This is an identity. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng identity? That means this is just equal to this. There's no specific value of x, no? Like if mag-shift solve ka, any x is possible except for 5 halves and negative 1. No, bale, the domain of this equation is any real number except for x equal to 5 halves and x equal to -1. Okay? So, ganoon yan. Pwede 3, pwede 5, pwede 10, pwede 1, pwede 0. No? Let's try. Let x be equal to 0. This right side becomes what? Negative. Let me make that as fraction. -1/5. And this right side naman, this left side is -1/5. This right side is also -1/5. Okay? If I'm gonna make this 2, the same. If I'm gonna make this 3, the same. No? But this can't be -1. Kasi if I'm gonna make that -1, oh, mat error. No? So it's not part of the domain. If I'm gonna make this 5 halves, mat error pa rin. No? Kasi naging 0 yung denominator. Pero pwede kahit na ano, no? Para maging the same sila. Okay ba? So that's what identity means. No? Identity siya. Now, what does it imply? So, ganito yan. If nare-write na natin siya into like this, ibig sabihin nito, let's say how we do not know the values of A, B, and C yet, no? And you have written that into this already. If we are to simplify this, dapat the coefficient of x squared dito, like yung numerical number beside the x squared, the coefficient of x squared must be equal to 2. Kasi nga, identity. The coefficient of x dito, the linear term, the coefficient of x, like, kahit ano ba niyan, a sub 1x, no? Yung a sub 1 must be equal to 24. And the constant nito must be equal to 1. Okay? Because this is an identity. So, with that, we can make equation. Bale, ganito. Now, I'm gonna focus on a sub 2. Okay? That is the coefficient of the x squared. At the right side, at the left side, that is 2. No? 2x squared. At the left side, at the right side, where can we get that x squared? Diba, we can get that here. Now, if we are to expand this, now that will become ax squared. You see that? Okay? Then plus dito, there is also x squared dito. 2x times x times b. That is also x squared. So, ibig sabihin yan, this 2 must be equal to a plus 2b at the right. Okay, ito ha, if we are to simplify this or expand this, ay, a and b are already solved. I'm gonna make this ganito. As you see, yung merong x squared is a and 2b. Now, yung may x squared. That is why 2 at the left is equal to a plus 2b at the right. Okay ba? Now, focus naman tayo sa linear term, a sub 1, a sub 1x. The linear term dito at the right, at the left is 24. And at the left, where can we get that linear term? Diba? If i-expand natin tong x plus 1 squared, that x plus 1 squared is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. Multiply it by a, there is 2ax. No? So that 24x must be equal to 2ax. Okay ba? But not yet enough. No? Kasi there is also linear term dito. If we are to expand this, the linear term dito can be found by doing the FOIL method, o plus I. 2x times 1, that is 2x, minus 5x. So that is equal to negative 3x times b, negative 3xb. So this is minus 3b. Okay, let me expand that for you to get. No? Its expansion is 2x squared minus 3x. So there is negative 3x times b, so minus 3b. No? But not enough pa rin. No? Ito, 2x, this is linear, no? Times c. So, meron pa itong plus 2c. Okay? So, that's the second equation. Okay? This is the second equation. The first equation is this one. Okay ba? First equation. Now, constant naman tayo, a sub 0. So, the constant at the left is 1. The constant at the right is equal to what? Where can we get a constant dito. Dito, x plus 1 squared. Its constant dito is 1, right? Times a, so this is a. Then plus, how about dito? What is the constant if we're to expand this? That's negative 5. Dito, nakuha natin yan. So this is negative 5b, no? The constant dito. And dito, apparently that is negative 5c. Okay? If we're to expand that. So we got 3 equations. Okay? And that's what we need kasi there are 3 unknowns, no? A, B, and C. Again, this is what you're going to do if you don't want to do this method. This is an alternative way in solving for the values of A, B, and C. And this is good if ever the variables A, B, C, meron pang pang-apat like D, no? Let's say naka-cube ito. Okay, if naka-cube yan, then meron pang fourth fraction, no? D over x plus 1 cube, di ba? So, yan yung gagawin. Better if you are to do that, no? So that you could make 4 equations and 4 unknowns, no? And walang problema for 4 equations, 4 unknowns. We can use the calculator in evaluating that. Now, let's use the calculator. So, the calculator, i-rewrite muna natin ha. The first equation may be rewritten as x plus 2y equal to 2. The second equation may be rewritten as 2x minus 3y plus 2z is equal to 24. And the third may be written as x minus 5y minus 5z equal to 1. So using the calculator, mode 5, 2, kasi 3 unknowns, input them. A is 1 for the first equation. B is 2, eto. C is 0, no? Walang z dito. So, the constant D is 2. Wait, mode 5, 2, 3 unknowns. Okay, so let me repeat that. 1, 2, 0, 2. Okay. Next, second equation. A is 2. B is negative 3. C is 2. D is 24. Okay? Then dito naman, 1, negative 5, negative 5, and 1. Okay. So after that, let's try to find out ano yung values ng x, y, and z. So x is 6. Again, originally, x is a. So a is 6. Okay ba? The next, how about y? Y is negative 2. So again, originally, y is b. So b is negative 2. And z is 3. And originally, z is c. Dito, c is 3. Now, let's compare. Ito ba yung mga nakuha natin kanina? Yes. Okay? 6, 3, and negative 2. So this is an alternative solution, no? Using simultaneous equation. So ganun yan. Okay, so next example, next topic is all about the case 3, no, and case 4. Hala, sige. So see you sa next video.